Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Nick Talks with some Wednesday wisdom, baby. So today, I wanted to talk about why personal growth matters, why personal improvement is such an important thing to strive for every single day. So, in the past, I made a video talking about why health matters and why it doesn't make sense to not prioritize it, given that it's the only thing that's with us all the time. Our body, our mind is the only thing that we have constantly present. We are always with ourselves, and so it's important to take care of that self, right? But I wanted to extend that out a little bit further and talk about personal growth as a whole and extending the longevity ideas of health to different things and the trajectory of your life and what you want based on my experiences. As I talked about, trying to be the healthiest you can, to live the longest that you can, and live the healthiest that you can for the longest, increasing your health span as well as your lifespan, and the downstream effects of that. So let's take that thought process and port it over in some other different areas. And then after taking it into some different directions, I also want to talk about the moral responsibility of this towards the end. Let's take thinking the same way about health, about becoming the best we can in this area to increase our health span and to better the trajectory of our lives in general, just based on health metrics, right? And port that into, let's say, finance. Thinking about finance as a goal of longevity instead of like trying to get rich, trying to achieve and maintain a level of financial stability and making that a worthwhile goal so that down the line you don't have to worry about things and therefore don't have to cause others to worry about you because you have your stuff taken care of, right? Thinking about this in terms of emotional maturity, pursuing constantly, becoming more emotionally stable, more in tune with your emotional changes so that you can monitor yourself better and be better outwardly and inwardly, and overall increase your quality of life. Because ultimately, most of this is going to be about increasing quality of life, and downstream of that, increasing the quality of life of those around you subsequently. And then also education. So constantly being on the ball and trying to learn more and become more educated in any area that you find interesting. Becoming a better reader, learning more about what is up to date in science, in certain fields and domains that you find interesting, right? And in a previous video, I talked about how learning and experiencing different things in life often allows you to see different problems in your life from different angles and better find a solution that fully encapsulates all the good things that you want out of something. And then that way you can examine certain biases and certain ideas and certain behaviors so that you can kind of steer them in different directions or make them more ironclad in your life, right? Why is this important? Why do I believe this is important? Why have I found this is important? Well, the way that I feel day to day and the perception I have of myself, the respect that I have for who I am and what I'm doing increases with every single thing that I do better in my life. And so the more areas I can spend a little bit of time and attention on and improve, the better I feel about myself, and the better I feel about myself, the better I treat others. We've talked in the past about, you can only love others as much as you love yourself. And so pursuing personal growth and personal improvement in every avenue that entails doubles, triples, quadruples down on that, essentially. And so the more I do for me, the better I make me, the better I can help others, the better I can give advice to others, the better I can listen to, the better I can serve my community as well as serve myself, which somewhat brings us to the moral responsibility. If you just go about your life day to day and achieve nothing except for clocking in and clocking out, going home and then going to bed, and repeating this 5-6 days a week, having a weekend where you binge or whatever, and going about your week the next one, how well are you serving your own interests? How well are you loving yourself, respecting yourself, increasing your perception of who you are? And down the line of that, how well are you able to treat others and serve others? Which ultimately is what we're here for, right? Is to serve our community, is to bring something better in the world. What higher aspiration is there than to become a better servant of those around you, right? Including yourself. What else is there? What else is there? And the more ways that you can improve on who you are and do something with the cards that you've been given and sit at the table and play and play and play until you've created more out of what you have. If you do none of these things, your life is essentially going nowhere. It is not improving. And if it's not growing, oftentimes it's dying, right? It's like that old show, Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? Or whatever it's called, right? Where people haven't spent any time improving their education or their understanding of things since fifth grade or since high school or whatever. And so a lot of times the kids that are in it now are much more well equipped to answer questions about the world than an adult would be, which makes no intuitive sense given the adults have much more wisdom given that they've been around longer. If you do nothing with what you are given, then you can do nothing more for those around you, and you can do nothing more to improve your own life. Whereas on the other hand, if you spend as often as possible improving your life and steering yourself into better, new, more positive directions, then with the things that you learn and the person that you become, you are more able to serve your own life and create more positive experiences and better quality of life than otherwise. And by doing so, you then are able to deliver more value to others around you. You know, you can't fill someone else's cup until yours is already full. Otherwise, you're just going to feel empty. And those good deeds are going to be very transient in the way that they make you feel. So here we see the morality issue, where seeing this, you now have a responsibility to do better because it not only improves your own life, but it improves all the lives around you. Now, I've seen this firsthand, right? I've had ups and downs in my life. I've had good experiences and bad, delivered by my own hand. And I've seen firsthand how just making simple day-to-day small percentage improvements to myself and my life immediately delivers a higher standard of living to those around me. And the more I interact with a higher tier of truth and knowledge, the more others around me get to interact with that as well. Essentially, I become a conduit for positivity that now can spray the fields in proximity to me with that positive energy. Not to get too woo on you, right? But I've seen it. I've seen it vividly, where when I start learning more and becoming more and seeing more and really locking my stuff in, and when I talk to the people around me, the things that I say are different, the way that I express myself is different, and therefore introduces them to a different state of being, that now they have something else that they can aspire to be. And even if it's not a direct inspiration, just the simple fact of, you are the 5 people that you hang around most, just by me becoming better and someone interacting with me often, they are now experiencing better. And so they will subconsciously want better or just achieve better because of what is around me. The standard has been raised. And I've seen this in my own life when I'm really taking care of stuff, which is not all the time. I'm not going to pretend that I'm some messiah figure who's got everything locked in and therefore is just making the world a beacon of hope. No, I'm not saying that. But I've had occasions where I'm really on top of the game and I see the ripple effect that has on the people surrounding me, especially the people that I interact with the most, right? And in the way that when I'm going to the gym all the time and learning about it and understanding it and diet and fitness and everything, I see people around me asking more questions and coming to me saying, hey, how can I do this? How can I do what you're doing? How can I make these improvements? When I start locking in my finances and really taking care of things, people are more likely to talk to me about what's a better way that I can manage my money? What's a better way that I can make investments? What do you know about this? What do you know about this? What do you think about this? Becoming a resource for those around you to come to rather than a draw on the energy that they have. Whereas on the opposite end, I've seen when I'm not taking care of my stuff at all, when I'm just plunging my life into the depths of unproductivity, then I notice how I then suck the energy from others. And when I talk to people, I bring them down rather than elevate them. And when I don't have control of my money, then I have to ask for money from others. And so it's giving back to the system or sucking energy out of the system. And that's kind of, either or. I mean, sometimes you have different parts of your personality that are going to do one or the other, and it won't be, binary in the way that you are. Not totally good or totally bad, but a mix of the two. But either way, the net result of what you're doing is going to increase the more you focus on personal growth, right? And therefore, once you understand this, you understand that not only am I doing this for myself, but I'm doing it for everyone else that I could possibly interact with, where I could become the sole decider of the trajectory of someone's life just by being a slight positive influence. Maybe someone's this close to jumping further down into the addiction, or this close to abandoning hope on some goal that they've had their whole life. And then just by being a voice of positivity and light and reason, that maybe they double down on that. And even if it's not a given, it's not 100% certain that you will do this, you are at least increasing the statistical likelihood that you'll have a positive impact on somebody by increasing the level of productivity and the level of experience and the level of understanding that you have about the world. But that's all I got. That's all I got, ladies and gentlemen. That it is the most worthwhile goal to double, triple down on all of the things that make you better, because the better you get, the higher you raise the standard for those around you, and the better they get completely subconsciously, right? Now, sometimes decisions are made, but very often it's subconsciously that you're influencing things in a positive direction. And what's better than that, baby? What's better than bringing more light, serving the people around you, and bringing more happiness and better quality of life to those in your immediate circle, and even just the guy you run into at the drive-thru. But yeah, that's it. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I appreciate you for watching, and hopefully we're all getting after it, right? And with that, I will say, Nick out.